So guys, we are in Business France office in Chicago for the Inside the Drinks business, and I'm here with Thomas. He's just going to show us around his office. And Thomas, over to you. Let us show our audience what you do here.
Thank you. So welcome to our office, Business France in Chicago, with a beautiful view, as you can see.
Thank you.
Today is Friday, so 5 o'clock. Everybody's in weekend already.
You can say that it's Friday and you're French, so there is no way people are going to be here.
So as you can see, the different offices we have in America and in Canada as well. First objective when we talk to French producers is to know how they work, what's their philosophy, what they do in their vineyards, in their cellar. So because we will represent them on the market. So that's the first step to exactly understand who they are and what are their products.
Hey guys, this is Sid Patel, your host, CEO of Beverage Trade Network, and we are doing Inside the Drinks business on what really goes in the agency business. So I'm here with Thomas. I'm at the Business France office in Chicago, and we're going to chat about a day of agency and how they grow their business. Thomas, thanks for having us here.
Thanks for having me.
Super. So Thomas, why don't you give us a little introduction about what you do, who you are, and your journey on how you came into this role?
Sure. So Business France, we are the national agency who foster the French economy internationally. So on one side, we help foreign companies to invest and create jobs in France. And on the other side, we are helping the French companies to do business in foreign country and here in US and Canada.
All right, fantastic. And that is beyond alcohol bev, right? Like any sort of companies interested in expanding would be your clients.
Exactly. So it could be environment, it could be health, industry, wine, spirits, food, whatever.
And particularly your domain is just for the wine, beer, and spirits, or everything?
So my department, we are focusing on wine, spirits, beer, and ciders. That's our main business here.
Great. How does your, when it comes to your defining your particular role, I see that it's more of developing business development, right? So does that mean you're looking for more clients or client servicing or executing the client needs? Can you just go a little deeper on your particular role KPIs on what you are meant to be doing?
Sure. So our job daily is mainly to be the point of contact between French wine producer or spirit producer and the American companies. So we help them to find their match.
Got it.
So we organize different type of event. For example, we have trade shows like you do with USA Trade Tasting. We bring French producers in US cities, and we make the French producers meet the importers, distributors, retailers. We do promotional campaign with the retailer, digital or wine tasting in the stores. We do a lot of market survey as well to explain in France how the American market works. And our main job as well is to do some prospection.
Okay.
So we try to help the French wine producer to find their importer that can bring the product here, and we try to really match the needs of both parts.
Yep.
You won't necessarily contact the same importer if you are looking for a biodynamic vineyard, a small one, or cooperative. So it's totally
so
different.
you have a database that gives you an idea about this importer's personality, what do they want,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that way you can match your supplier and
exactly, and
propose
that's
better.
our job as well on the American side. We need to be in contact all the time with the market,
Got it.
with the importers, distributors, retailers, to know what they want,
Yep.
what they need for the sourcing, what region they would like to source for the coming months or years. So yeah, we have to be very informed about the market. And on the other side, in France, we have to tell them, okay, what's the reality of the market? If you are Bordeaux or a wine from Jura, you
Yeah.
won't maybe necessarily work in the same way or in
True.
the same region.
Yeah, maybe you would be honest and say that this is not in demand right now, so it may be a little tougher journey out there.
It's better than last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you treat this as one, North America as one
Yeah, exactly.
way to operate?
Yeah.
Got it.
So we are present in 58 different countries around the world.
May I ask you the reason of New York makes for sure sense. Why Boston?
Boston, for example, is a huge spot for health businesses, health companies. So it's a very big market.
And Detroit?
Detroit for automotive,
Okay.
obviously. So yeah, we try to be in.
This is for
in
the food industry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Logistic,
And
food. Houston, we have to
Money?
to be we have to be in the south,
Yeah.
because
Understood.
there is a lot of business as well.
For sure, I think one of the things that come to my mind when it comes to agency business is, there is client and then there is client service part of it, right? So they have a business requirement where they will say, maybe I want to find an importer in East Coast, I want to find an importer in West Coast, for example. I want to do a 10,000 cases in year one, 40,000 cases in year two. So what are some of these client briefs? Can you walk us through 3 or 4 examples? And what are the business requirements they come up with?
So our first objective when we talk to French producers is to know how they work, what's their philosophy, what they do in their vineyards, in their cellar. So because we will represent them on the market. So that's the first step, to exactly understand who they are and what are their products.
First, you will see if they're actually your fit as well or not, whether they are sellable or not.
Exactly. Are they ready to export their wine in the US? Do they have a website in English, for example? It's just basic, but you have to have a website in English. And then yes, we need to find the right importer who match their needs, and we have to explain as well the reality of the market.
Got it.
Because it's very important for them to understand how the US market works, because it's different than in France with the 3-tier system. And so yeah, we have to really explain them that
it's patience and money will be required. When it comes to the financial side of the business of agency, are you billing them on retainer plus commission sort of thing, or commission structure options also you guys have, where you place an importer and you work on performance only, or just 100% retainer you prefer, where there is a yearly contract and options to renew?
So the way we work is we have a meeting to see what's their needs, if we can fit their needs, and then we send them a pro forma, a quote. Like this, they see, okay, if I go to, for example, 3 area, West Coast, East Coast, and the South, for example, it will cost me this amount, and business friends will contact this number of target, of prospect.
So I'm trying to go in the model of the agency, right? How do you come up with the quote? Is it you calculate the hours that will be needed in that, and particularly you add your margins and that's it? How does the pricing work?
So exactly that's the time we spend on the project, and as well on how many people who will work on the project. Because to explain to you how we work, for example, in my department, wine and spirit department, we are 6. So we have 1 manager in San Francisco, we have 1 colleague in New York, 1 in San Francisco, 1 in Houston, 1 in Montreal for the Canada, So yeah, we.
So going deeper into that, let's say there is a winery in France looking for an importer, and for example, you said it's 50 hours, $10,000, just making up for this gig. And then you've already halfway, it's been 30 hours already and zero, nothing has happened. Do you put more hours yourself from your pocket to make sure client is happy? Or you stick with the discipline of this is what it is and such is life? I'm just trying to understand, because at the same time, you don't want agencies to give more resources and keep on finding to deliver a need which is just impossible, for example, or not happen.
So luckily, we most of the time find the right fit. And,
Okay.
But yeah, if we need to do more hours, we will do it, because we represent the French companies and we really want them to succeed. So we will not count our
So is it like a
hours,
doctor thing, or like you're going to have a timer? Literally, today you're working on this client, so 4 hours you worked on this client. Let's say Thomas worked 2 hours, Manila worked 4 hours. Is that how it works? The inside part, like how do you log hours?
No, it's more like globally how long it take us to spend time on the phones, on emailing, on going to meet some importers, doing some research, trying to find the right target for the customer.
So during the quotation is the only time you spend time on how much time it's going to take?
Yeah.
That's it. Then
Yeah.
it's obviously, it is what it is, right?
Exactly. And we most of the time spend more hours than what we quote, so because we want them to succeed. That's our main objective, main goal. So my desk is over there.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a very
Let's
nice spot.
let me steal some of the magazines here, what you read.
Oh yeah.
So the tasting panel,
So we have the Some Journal, tasting panel, and the Market Watch as well.
Market Watch is a
Yeah.
good one, yeah.
So
What about beverage media? You consume any more, or 750 is
yeah,
what you...
but everything on online.
All right,
Yeah,
got it. Nice.
trying to be more and more.
This is like monthly
environment.
subscription?
Yeah.
Oh, environmental.
Yeah.
True, like that. So let's go on the harder conversations where you could not deliver, and whatever the case, right? Because they don't understand sometimes. It's hard for you to say that it's a shit wine, So let's say you could not deliver, and how do you have that conversation where they are asking that, okay, give me some refund back, or just for the agency business to help them on how to have those kind of conversations?
Yeah, sure. So it can happen that, for example, the wine that the producer suggests to showcase to the market is not the right fit at a certain period of time. And so what we are doing, so before they accept our proposal, we are telling them it's possible that, for example, nobody will want to add your product in their portfolio. So they are aware of that, and what we are looking for is to get some positive feedback.
So at least you give some constructive feedback on why they did not select.
If the importers don't want the wines, we will ask them why.
Got it.
Is it maybe the pricing is not a right fit to the market? Is it maybe the packaging, or maybe it's not the right time for this kind of wine? So we always ask a lot of feedback, because we want the producers to know and to work for the future on why it didn't work this time.
When you have to define your customer, is there a particular format or a language that you use that, okay, minimum billing should be this much, minimum, I don't know, maybe just 4 things that come to my mind is it should be from France, maybe minimum 10K, 4-year contract, something. Are there any particular processes in defining a consumer, and then, okay, now Thomas, let's go and find these consumers?
So not really.
Customers, I mean.
Yeah. So we work with every region in France, every kind of producers, and we have some colleagues in France who bring the French wine producers to us.
Okay.
So it could be a big one, a small one, every kind of producers.
But there must be some minimum viable customer, right? Otherwise it just doesn't make sense to onboard.
It depends, but yes, they have to have some kind of volume as well, because we are in US. It will be different, for example, than a smaller country in Europe or in Asia. So, but yeah, before we sign with them, we check all that. If they can provide the volume, if they are ready to export.
Okay.
So that's the main point.
So let's walk on the process, right? You for BizDev, till what I'm listening is more of inbound inquiries.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
producers coming to you that hey, we're looking for help for US.
Exactly.
So it's not much of a cold calling approach that you have, or you have a process for even cold calling.
Yeah. So all the producers come from our colleagues in France, who are saying, "Oh, I have someone from Beaujolais who is looking for representation in the US."
Got it.
And on the other part, we are helping as well the US companies, importers, distributors, retailers, to source their product in France.
Understood.
Like for example, a big retailer will ask me, "Oh, I'm looking for a Chablis on this price point, this kind of taste, etc. And can you help me to find?" So we suggest them several producers who could fit, and then we let them discuss and make business.
And who pays the for that job? The buyer, the retailer?
No, the producers in France. Yeah.
Got it.
So everything is free for the
buyers.
American consumers.
Sure. Buyer always is free, right? It's a global rule. You and client, when you have to sign a contract with each other, so what are some of the terms, what are some of the languages that go in that, you obviously define their requirements, but other than that, any tips for agencies to involve some clauses or some paragraphs which you've learned over lessons? Like something like a non-performance clause, like in case if we cannot find importer, you do understand, right?
Yeah.
So those 4 or 5 things that you think that you've learned from the experience?
So yeah, for sure, we work on the means we do in our work, but not the outcome. For example, if we have 6 meetings with importers, it will be great. But if we have 0 meeting, it can happen sometime. They know it already, and we write that on the contract.
Got it. What are some of the problems that you've usually faced in this businesses, and how do you guys overcome? Just give us like 3 or 4 examples of something went bad, and as an agency, how you solve it.
The main thing I would say would be the cultural differences.
Okay, like how much they're involved?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for example, the French wine producers will say, okay, US is one of the biggest market in the world. It's easy to sell. They will love my product, and I will do a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's very easy.
Yeah.
So we are here to explain them that's not how it works. Yes, it's one of the biggest market in the world, but there are regulations, law. You have to understand the 3-tier system.
Yeah.
And we are here to explain them the reality of the market. For example, in some area, they don't want some wine from a certain region or the wine from a certain price point. So we are here to explain that to them, and to explain, that
do you
between
sell
what they dream and the reality,
Got it.
there is a difference.
Do you sell education things as well? Like,
Yeah.
okay, 3 hours of Thomas advising on US will be...
Exactly. Okay. So we do master classes where we explain how the market works, how do you pitch your product in the US,
and that is I'm assuming that's used for BizDev as well.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
So it's like new potential people can also sign up.
Yeah,
got it.
Exactly, and what's the different cultural differences, for example? So we help them to understand how the US market works.
Who sits around with you guys?
So here the department is like we call agrotech, so equipment for agro.
Is that
business.
why it's green?
No. Okay. No, I don't know why the color are like that. Here we have my colleague from food. We have some people in Invest who try to help American companies to create companies in France and some jobs.
Nice.
We have environment, industry, health, department. We have some more invest, automotive. We have railway, aerospace, communication.
Interesting.
And we have as well a VIE program, so it's an internship program that we promote a lot around the world, like young French professionals who come to help French companies. And so it's a very good program as well. And after we have a lunchroom and the manager's offices.
Let's go deeper into an actual meeting of an importer, so we can shed a light on what a meeting looks like from an agency which is representing a client, right? It can be for a big chain like Kroger's. Have you had an opportunity to chat with big chains like Kroger's?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So can you let us know what, because that's complete different thing than people know what chains are looking for, like more of, I'm sure I'll let you answer, but it's more of data-driven, proven things and whatnot, right? So or support. So what do you think US chains are looking for exclusive programs and those kind of things?
Some are looking for a very fair price. Some are looking for wine that they can sell very fast. Some are looking for different kind of wine. For example, if you are a big chain who has more like organic product, this kind of typicity, yes, you have to adapt your proposal to these chains. But that's what we like with the US professional. It's that compared to European countries, it's more direct and more business forward. So it's easy and very clear. You go straight to the point, and I appreciate that. For example, in Europe, we are writing emails like this size, and in US it's 4 sentences, 3 lines, and boom, you get to the point. You get your meetings. So that's what I like. And in big chains or small importer, it's, I think, almost all the same. The distribution is very friendly, and most of the time we know what they are looking for, and we bring them the right product, or what we think it's the right product. It's
any meetings that you can just give us a little rundown on what went, like what buyer asked you and what were the 3 or 4 questions, on how, for example, I'll tell you, when I had my wine, I had a meeting with Total Wine. They said, I got to sell the cheapest in my state, Maryland, and I got to make the most margin. So can I sell $1 cheaper than everyone else, and I still make the highest margin? So if that you can do it, it's going in Winery Direct. Now Kroger's, for example, said 50 test stores, you got to deplete in 60 days, otherwise bye-bye, never show me your face again. If you do it, 500 stores. So any other 3 or 4 examples that directly people say, do this, and you got my business?
No, it's more about some volume or some pricing or some.
So it's like, how do they say, like, okay, find me $6.99 Bordeaux Merlot which I can retail? Is that how they?
Yeah, or for example, I need a Châteauneuf-du-Pape organic, and they need to have at least 20,000 bottles for my stores. And then give me some sample. It's good. Okay, we can discuss further. It's not good. I don't want it. And
perfect.
So it's not really complicated. You just have to meet their needs.
And what about performance guarantees? Are they asking for you to make sure that it depletes?
Yeah. So most of the time, they for the first orders, they order a certain amount of bottles to test the wine on the market in the biggest region or their biggest store, and compared to how it deplete, they will tell you, okay, we'll order more and we can continue some business. Or some they say, okay, we wait 1.5 years or 2 years. We give a chance of 2 years for your product, and if it works, okay, we continue and we will order more and more. But if it doesn't work, we stop to work with your brands.
How does the cross synergies work here in data? Let's say someone's working on an automobile client and you're working on a wine client. Are there any common similarities at all?
We are almost doing the same job, depend on the industry, but yeah, we share a lot of information about the market, the country, how it works. We always have a good insight from our colleagues.
And if you had to change the department, let's say you are no more interested in wine and you want to go in automobile, usually you prefer someone who has deep experience in networking in automobile?
Yeah.
Because I think you want to play on your own. Your LinkedIn network is more important than your resume, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
But you have to have a background on the department you will
Even
work
the knowledge?
for. Yeah.
Understood.
Mostly like someone who will work for aerospatial, for example, will be engineer in aerospace, automotive, or stuff like that.
What is the ecosystem that you think an agency should have? Like for example, PR, contacts, networking, friends. You should know people, right?
Yeah.
I think. So what are this kind of things where you think let's say, if you just grew, it will just help you overall in your agency business? What comes to mind?
Yeah, you just said it, networking and be outside and talk to people, know everything about your market. One of the first things I'm doing every morning is read maybe 20 newsletter or something.
Which are 5 or 6 business newsletters that you would advise people to
Beverage Trade Network newsletter, which is great. Yeah, wine business. I'm reading some French as well. Yeah, a lot. 750 daily. This kind of newsletter. And then yeah, we try to go outside to meet our other trade commission as well, Italy, Portugal. It's important to.
How is that linked with this? How is Italy Trade Commission, or let's say Spanish some region? So why are you meeting with them?
Just to discuss the
something new that they found. Which helps you.
And to see what's their work, because we are doing the same. So it's important to know your colleague as well from different countries, and to be to listen a lot of what's happening in the market, the new trends. To talk a lot and be in contact with the retailers, importers, distributors is very important. Because the more you know about your environment and your market, the more you can give a good insight to the French wine producers.
How have you shifted from an ecosystem of press, let's say, getting a press in 750 or Beverage Trade Network or whatever, Sommelier magazine and so on, right, to the reality of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and so on? Are you guys have a little in-house social media now team which can do PR campaigns on Instagram directly?
Yes, so we have a marketing department. Okay. So, yeah, network our Instagram account, LinkedIn account, Twitter account as well. And me, I'm using a lot of Instagram. Because you can see what's happening, which importer do a trade tasting, with who they work, what the new product they are coming in. So it's very important to know that. I don't have a personal account in Instagram, just a business one, just to monitor the market and what's happening.
Any growth hacks that you think you have done, where you know that you did this crack of growth hack on finding a customer, let's say someone in France? If your manager told you that, okay, we need 4 more clients in the next 3 months from France, how would you do that?
As we said earlier, the French wine producers are brought to us by our colleagues in France.
What would they do, or what would, as a company, you guys would do?
So we do some meeting with them, seeing what they want and how we can find solution for them. And on the US part, for example, we do some sourcing buyers trip to France.
Okay.
So where we help a big retail company or importers to source their product in France. Last year, I brought some accompany some big retailers in Wine Paris. So I bring them to some meetings with producers.
Got it.
And I know by being still in contact with them that they did business.
Got it.
So that's great. Yeah.
Any last trends or opportunities you see for agencies in 2023 to expand their product or services where you think it's a good can be a good revenue model?
I think it's even more for the wine industry. I think the new opportunities are digital now.
So to offer digital services,
yeah,
something
exactly.
like that.
So we see a lot of online services or online tools coming from all over the world, and I think that will be the major opportunities in the future. And we hope to develop that with French companies. We have some already working with us.